Sartopo.com. It's a quick overview of a PDF map generating program that is accessible by anyone. You can use this prior to going out of county in an area you may be unfamiliar with. I'll give you a quick run through on it, how to build a topo map and some of the different features. So if you go over here to the 7.5 minute topo maps, this will take you to your typical topographical map, and you can see that you can just continue to zoom in on details here. Over on the right up here gives you a pull down menu that can add some different features to your map if you'd like them. This one will overlay roads in a little better detail. Slope angle shading will give you more of a relief of the angles. You can also combine these. If you do too many of them, it gets a little crowded. So give you a key to your degrees here. Fire history is interesting. You can see some of the fires if you know you're operating in a previous burn somewhere. That'll give you the fire history and the year it burned. And then current fire activity will give you an outline of some of the current fire activity. So it's possible you could look it up if you were headed to that fire. And then the sun exposure feature is interesting. If you look at today, this will give you average. I think it's loading slowly. But if you pick a time, say 10 a.m. today, it's going to overlay where the sun exposure is. And of course at 10 a.m. you have pretty much sun exposure everywhere. If you go down to later in the evening, you'll see where the shading changes and starts showing you what areas of the topography are going to be in shade versus in the sun. This might be handy on a mobile computer in your engine or buggy. The weather forecast will give you highs and lows. You can select a degree range. Precipitation, max wind speed, and you can choose your speeds. You can choose gust. And then also another nice feature is this wind plot, which will give you the direction the winds are traveling, and you can select different time frames and see where the winds might be changing based on different times, and it also gives you speed based on color. These forecast grid just give you different weather stations, so if you're in the area of one of these weather stations, you can click on that and it'll take you to a particular weather station. There's other maps over here. You have your Forest Service maps, so depending on where you are, you may get some different details if you're working in a national forest or in one of our national parks. You can see if you go into Yosemite Valley, there may be different details based on this map versus the 7.5 topo map. They don't vary much, but you might find some differences depending on the area you're in. There's the aerial topo, a hybrid satellite. So this one obviously has pre-checked here a couple different items, but this will give you an actual satellite image overlaid, and then you can add the contour lines if you want to make a map like that. So the best feature of this is that we can take one of these maps in an area that we're going to, prior to leaving. And if we were going to Yosemite for a fire, we can go up to print, go to print to PDF. So we'll open it in another window. Over here you have your size you want to print to. We're going to print to PDF, so the size is somewhat irrelevant. Your scale is going to change the size of the print area. So this is 1 to 24,000. If I go to 1 to 62,000, it's going to give me a bigger area. Latitude, longitude, it'll mark this on the map in the final product. It's going to keep your file for 7 days without opening an account. You're limited to 7 days, and I'll show you in a second how that's relevant. This will give you a QR code. The QR code on the map that you're going to pull up will be good for 7 days so that you can download it into the Avenza app or similar apps on a tablet or a Apple iOS device. Right now we have one page selected. There is an option to add a page, and it'll give you another box. So what you can do is, if you want overlying areas, it'll give you that option. One of the problems with that, here's a final product of that option, is it gives you an overlay of where your maps are, and it gives you your nice latitude, longitude numbers here, but it doesn't create a QR code. So as far as I can tell, there's no way to get these maps into Avenza when you do multiple pages. So this would be good in the vehicle on a laptop, but not necessarily to transfer to Avenza. So if we eliminate one of these maps, you can change this here to landscape. You can click and drag in the center on the dot to adjust where you want it. Once you've done that, you've got all this selected. You've chosen what you want on your map. Generate PDF here. It's going to open a new window. It's going to create a linked PDF. This has the GPS overlay so that when you load this into Avenza, it will work with your GPS on your device and actually put your little blue dot wherever you are on this map, just like when we download an incident map at base camp. So as you can see, here's the QR code. If you scan this right onto your phone within the Avenza map, it will drop this exact map you just created into Avenza and allow you to see where you are when you get into that area. This could be very helpful when you haven't had an opportunity to go to base camp to get an incident map, maybe your initial attack, and you have time to print this out before you leave, or planned need probably more so than initial attack. Anyway, this is sartopo.com. Pretty neat software. Look around, play with the different options. If you have questions, let me know.